Set to the side, you'd better run and hide. More to the side, everybody wants to stay alive. Set to the side, you'd better run and hide. More to the side, everybody wants to stay alive.
What is your major malfunction?
Welcome to the Chab Dog Sports Talk Radio Show. Sunday mornings live from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific. We're spontaneous sports talk, rated R.
Don't make a fuck out of me.
Host Brandon Chabner and producer Eric the Well-Read bring you Brian from Sports Rock
Say hello to my little friend.
and Tank's West Coast godbrother, Abe Miranda.
See the mess of the true passion of New York.
Plus special guests, music, movie clips, comedy,
So fat, a blood type is ragu.
and always a little politics.
It comes from China.
The live call-in number is 252-585-4120. Join in the fun.
Hello.
And now, here's your host, Chab Dog.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saul, for that intro, and thank you, Well-Read, for putting that together. This is Chab Dog Sports Talk, the Taking Out the Trash Talking Show for April 18th, 2021, brought to you by Chabner Law, serving Southern California's business and transactional legal needs, estate planning as well, and by Chab Dog Sports Blog for your head of your sports headlines and budding sports commentary. Find us at chabdog.com and on Facebook, type in Chabdog. This is kind of a sports are taking a turn now into baseball. I'm starting to get into it, following what's going on more, and NBA is kind of rumbling towards the playoffs, and a lot of guys are taking some time off to really gear up for the mental stress of the playoffs. That's what's kind of going on in sports, Eric. And so this show is going to be another one of those kind of mixtures where we probably lapse into things that aren't sports related, but that's okay. Got some interesting clips for you, and I don't know. Things are getting a little intense. It's getting up towards 420 day, which on one hand it's a great day. And you can have a lot of pancakes this on Tuesday, because that's when it is, and Tuesday's Pancake Day. So maybe we can get really stoned and eat a lot of blueberry pancakes.
Hey, Chab Dog.
So welcome, and we have another great show for you today. Got all the clips loaded up. Probably have Abe Miranda calling in, hopefully, and perhaps a few other people. If not, we'll just have another free for all. And
We've got a lot of clips today, Chab
Mm-hmm.
Dog. Yeah, if we had no callers and no sports to talk about, we would still have clips from the movie High Sierra with Humphrey Bogart, 1941, featuring Ida Lupino.
Lupino,
Yeah.
Ida Lupino.
Got a great piece of dialogue between them. We have Khan versus Mr. Rourke. So see which Ricardo Montalban character was tougher. We've got clips from this movie that Chab Dog just introduced me to in the green room prior to coming on to the show, Get Hard. With Will...
It's not porno.
That's Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell and
Yeah.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with porno, but it's called Get Hard. There's some just priceless. In fact, the show's title ties into that, and the show's title is
Taking Out the Trash Talking.
Yes. There's amazing trash talking in
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
there. Then we're gonna remember Cloris Leachman.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Rhoda.
We had the tribute show for her because she died about 5 months ago, I think.
Yeah, she's recently passed away.
But
And we might remember her from Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
But she also won an Academy Award, believe it or not, from
for Best Supporting Actress in the movie Last Picture Show. Yes, and that was a highly acclaimed, much liked movie, and she did a great job.
Yes, we've got her acceptance speech, and it's a time when we used to listen to the Oscars when they were worth watching, and you'll see why in the minute of her acceptance speech. You'll see why
I'm looking forward to that.
We're good.
Yeah.
We're going to play some Hank. We never play Hank Williams, so happy to see we had Hank Williams on the
Ain't
playlist today.
good looking.
We can play a short clip from Jonathan Winters. You can just be able to enjoy his comedy. You know, he was an early. I think Robin Williams, people like Robin Williams and others of that time looked up to Jonathan Winters, and tried to imitate him. And somewhere we got to fit the Dean Martin in too. So we got some Dean Martin.
We had to eliminate some people that just couldn't make the cut this week. Teddy Roosevelt fell.
Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt fell off there, and that was a great speech. But Teddy, maybe next week. And Gigi fell off too.
Oh, Maurice Chevalier.
Yeah. Talk about child porn.
And thank Kevin for Abe Miranda. He calls in at the most opportune times.
Brandon, you have the right to Abe Miranda.
Okay, well, I'm going to exercise those rights and let you in here and give. You just called in. Thank you for calling in, Abe Miranda.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody had a great and interesting week in sports. It's been a good week in sports, so I'm sure everybody was entertained with all the different sporting things that we have, which is a far departure from where we were a year ago. So, I mean, with that being said, you know, not many complaints from me this season.
That's great.
Well, the Dodgers are riding high, so I can see that, especially that win last night, the 2-0 win.
Did they beat the Padres all the games of that series?
No, they've only 2 of the 3 of them.
Okay, so the Padres did win one. Yeah, the Padres are pretty good.
No,
actually.
Padres didn't win one. They won. They haven't played the third one yet.
Oh, so the Dodgers won the first 2.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's impressive.
And the other reason Abe is happy is that because the Mets haven't played because they keep getting rained out. So you've got to be thrilled. I mean, you're not losing.
Oh, I you know what? I can't complain. I mean, the Mets are in first place, and
yes.
a lot of
Are you kidding? No way.
Yeah, they are.
That's impossible.
No, that's not. They are by.
What's their record?
They're 5 and. Where are we here? 5-3.
Yeah, they're 6-4.
6-4.
I got 6-4.
Oh, 5. They were 5-3 on Friday, so I must have.
So
6-4.
Oh yeah, because they had a doubleheader. You know, again with all the we've had rain delays, and then we've had actually started the season with a COVID delay. We missed our opening game against the Nationals because of the COVID issues.
Yeah.
Then we had rain delays in New York, and then they go out to Colorado because they're playing the Rockies right now, and they literally land at the airport in the middle of a blizzard. One of the players mentioned they thought they were playing for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
They had to postpone one of the Colorado games because of snow. And then yesterday they finally got to play a doubleheader. And the Mets won the first game. The Mets really got hammered in the second game. I think Pete Alonso, he seemed like he was out of gas there on 14 innings. And it was 40 degrees outside. And I think everybody was freezing. So it was interesting. It's been an interesting ride so far if you're a Mets fan. I mean, they've only played 10 games when everybody else has played 14 or so. So we're behind. We have a lot of double headers. Start of the season, we've had a few in the Phillies with Colorado. Some things that are interesting about double headers is kind of like last year with piggybacking their 7 innings.
Yeah.
Which is interesting if you're a pitcher, meaning if you can't technically get a no-hitter in a doubleheader because they won't count that. If you could throw perfect for 7 innings, but you will not get a no-hitter on your record for that. That was very interesting. You will get the no-hitter. The only way you can get a no-hitter as a pitcher on that game is if the game goes extra innings to the 9th inning. Oh. So if, let's say it's 0-0 at the 7th, and then they carry over to the 8th, and it's 0-0, and then it carries over to the 9th, then you can claim the no-hitter as a pitcher.
Okay.
And so that was just kind of interesting that I didn't really know that dynamic with the 7 inning game.
Why is it? Does every doubleheader have to have a 7-inning game? Is that what it is?
Yeah, this year every doubleheader only plays 7 innings. So the first game only goes 7 innings, and the second game goes 7.
Oh, I thought one of them went 9 innings and the other went 7. Oh, I didn't know they were both 7s. And then sometimes I've thought I've seen single games as 7-inning games. Not even games with
it. The rain delayed games.
Yeah, it was rain.
Yeah, every I just don't really question it because I have other things to worry about in my life. But I think it's weird that sometimes these 7-game gamers show up and 7-inning gamers and there's no doubleheader involved. So I just don't understand it. But there must be, the league knows what's going on.
They do.
I think. I hope.
Well, I think some of this is also an extension of the COVID rules that were implemented.
Yeah, it's
COVID
year. Related, right?
So these are like, this was like a COVID rule where, you know, it used to be 9-inning doubleheader games, and then because of COVID, maybe they want to minimize exposure, so they went to 7 and 7. And so for 2021, we just carried that format over.
Yeah, makes
so
sense.
that the doubleheaders are 7-inning games.
We'll lose this later.
Well, the extra inning stuff too. That the changes for that, those are permanent changes. It's not COVID related. Where they start the guy off at second base.
Yeah, that might stick around for a while.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's already shortened Friday's game, which was dragging on anyway into the 9th inning, pushing midnight.
Yeah, some of these changes, I guess I don't mind. At first, I thought they were, perversions. This is like, why? You're just changing the game, huh? But I guess it's going to make everybody healthier.
Well, they had more radical suggestions out this week on proposals. Geez, what was something about not being, if you use a DH, then you got to leave your starting pitcher in longer, something like that. Did you hear anything? I didn't get I can't remember.
You can't. That would. I mean, what happens if the pitcher's just getting killed? They have to be able to take him out
to create more offense.
I mean,
does that ring a bell?
Get ugly.
Abe, did you hear anything like that?
You know what? I didn't.
Okay, no, I did. Sorry to put you on the spot because I heard just a passing glance because Dave Roberts was being interviewed, the manager of L.A. and he was going on. I was like, holy crap, this sounds radical. He wasn't talking it down, just saying because it sounds like it's coming. There's some strategy change here.
Yes, always changing.
Well, how about Abe? I don't want to blindside you with this either, but in Bleacher Report had a tell-all story about the Mets, working as pawns in this toxic workplace. Did you know the Mets were a toxic workplace?
Well, I think just being associated with the Mets is a toxic workplace. I mean, it's also a toxic fan base. But, hopefully this doesn't come out as, another Ellen DeGeneres show where the Mets treat their employees horribly. But it is something that I'm sure Stephen Cohen is going to have to, he's investigating. And I think the latest reports on that is that, Steve Cohen's going to look into that. Mm-hmm. And, he's a new owner, obviously, this year. So we can't blame him for a Mets toxic workplace.
I'm trying to imagine what that could look like.
Blame everybody before him.
What could be so bad?
Yeah, well, this is what's coming. I mean, this does go back. This is Wilpon stuff. Fred Wilpon's now been accused of sexist behavior.
I'm just a Wilpon in the scheme of things.
Oh, speaking of which, Will Ponzi.
Will Pon.
Bernie Madoff passed away this week.
Oh. He passed away in jail, huh?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
The man.
I think he got his Costco card got punched.
Consistent returns. Bernie
punch,
Madoff.
your ninth dick is free.
You gonna play some trash talking? You want to play some trash talking?
Yeah, let's play some of that. Here's another thing for you, Abe. You ever hear the movie Trash Talk?
No, it's called Get Hard.
Get Hard with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, let's play this.
You know, it sounds familiar.
This is how
Will
you.
Because we love Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Well, let me do the other scene first.
What?
Where he does the. Is this the one where he's doing the? Yeah, this is it.
This is it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Check this out.
Fuck you. Fuck cock. Shit. Hey, back off. You better get those tits out of my face, or I'll show you my tits.
What are you doing?
Working on my trash talk. You know, to get respect from the other inmates.
Let me hear some of it.
All right. Hey, pal. I'm about to tear you a new ass.
You gotta do a little better than that, James.
Hey, I'm about to tear you a new ass and sew up your old ass.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna punch you in the fuck. I'm gonna make you my bitch's bitch. You're gonna be my grand bitch. Yeah, you're about to get 20 likes on InstaFuck. If I see you around here again, I'm gonna put a hashtag on your ass and see how many hits it gets.
Oh my God.
Hope you brought your Costco card because you're about to get dick in bulk.
This is so dark.
You eat organic? How about fresh, farm to table, a puree of my balls? Yeah. Merry Dickmas, Santa Cock.
Okay, all right, man. Where's this stuff coming from, James?
Hey, son, you're a disappointment to your parents, who I fucked.
Oh, shit. James, this is sick. You gotta be crazy to think of this. That crazy is good.
Thank you.
That's much worse than
6
that
hours
guy
more.
said to Mark.
That's good, James. That's really good. I like that.
Good.
I like that a lot.
All right. I hope you brought your dick punch card, because the 8th dick is free.
Taser. Oh yeah, didn't quite make it.
It's not bad, James. It's not bad at all.
He's wired tight now. He's
Progress.
ready for prison.
Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled cocks.
Got 6 hours of it. He's gonna need every minute of it.
You know what? I do remember it. And that was with Kevin Hart, and that's where he actually ended up going into this gangster house, and then he ended up getting cornrows in his head, and I think he started dating one of the gangster girls. So
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I remember that. Hilarious.
Yeah.
What a great movie.
I keep thinking of
Hilarious.
him playing George Bush, and like it would be funny if George Bush was saying that stuff. You know how George Bush?
You know, it reminds
say that.
It reminds me of Junior High. But go ahead, George Bush.
Junior high?
But George Bush would, and Frank Caliendo does George Bush the best, I think, because he says things, and they're funny, and he doesn't mean to be funny, but then it's like sometimes he says them, and then a few seconds later he gets that weird smile on his face, where it makes me think he knows what he's doing, and just he has that interesting self-awareness that would probably play well with him doing trash talk. Smiling after he made a good insult. But anyway.
Yeah, that was classic.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That's a good one.
Classic Will Ferrell rant. But what I was going to say was in junior high, I was taking a sex ed class. And I remember that we would all giggle, you know, every time we saw the word vagina or whatever.
Oh, we all did.
And the teacher, she said to us, she says, okay, get it all out of your system. And so we were all like saying, like, you know, pussy, vagina, cocksucker. We just got it all. So we were like,
this is in school in front of the
Will
teacher.
Ferrell
Oh, yeah.
in that movie for about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you kind of remembered that 5-minute rant there from junior high.
Yeah, in junior high they had an assembly with all the boys in the junior high gym or something, and the PE teacher started talking to us about sex ed and stuff. It was really funny hearing that in public from your PE teacher.
Wow. In public.
Mr. Kahida.
Yeah, I think the highlight of that one class was where, she started explaining all the female parts, like, this hole and that hole. And I remember raising my hand, and she called on me, and I said, so which hole do I stick it in? And she looked at me, and she said, none. You don't stick it in any of the holes. But that was...
too bad we
Fuck
don't
you,
have
asshole.
audio of that.
Don't stick it in any holes is the message, okay?
In any holes?
I got confused.
I thought you were going to play
confused.
the Maurice Chevalier clip. No.
No, we didn't. He didn't make the cut. But that was for pedophile. Abe's not suggesting pedophile.
Oh, anyway.
Or anything Maurice Chevalier, but stick it in holes? Yeah, I mean, that's not what I was taught, Abe. Yeah, it's got to go in at least in one or two holes anyway.
Yeah, well, she made it complicated. She had her big stick, and she was pointing at diagrams, and so I got a little lost there, so I had to raise my hand and ask a few questions. Good times.
Yeah, okay.
Junior high. Good.
Well,
junior high, that's
Abe,
more like...
Did you look at any of the stuff I posted this week? We got some clips with beautiful women in them. We have the Raquel Welch 1973 Emmy presentation with Cloris Leachman getting her award. And
Can I have a cup of coffee with you?
but you don't probably know much about the Emmys in 1970s, right? Because you were too young.
Emmys, this is...
I mean the Oscars. Sorry. Right now you're playing
I'm sorry, I'm still
The Last Picture Show.
Well, this is from an era before the word cougar was even invented, but this is exactly what was going on in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe this one's... No, that's Jane the Virgin.
He never had a chance. I saw the movie. She picked him up. He was on the kid was on the rebound or something. And
so she's what, about a 40-year-old woman in this?
And she was born in 19...
I'm apologizing to you.
She's 43.
Why am I always apologizing
And
to
this
you,
kid's
20, 25. He's supposed to be 17 in the show.
Yeah, I think he's 17, and so she bangs him.
Quit apologizing. You're the one ought to be sorry. I wouldn't still be in my bathrobe if it hadn't been for you. I had my clothes on hours ago.
Oh, geez.
You're the one made
Phyllis.
me quit caring if I got dressed or
I hope you don't have to hear this from your wife, eh?
I guess just
Thankfully, I
because your
don't hear it
friend
from
got
mine.
killed, you want me to
But I
forget
did from
what
others.
You haven't
Make
been
it all
married.
right?
You just haven't been married long
I'm not
enough.
sorry for you.
No, I had other wives that sounded
Just
like this.
you left me. I bet you left him plenty of nights.
I've talked to some men who have told me that this
I wouldn't
happens.
treat a dog that way. I guess you thought I was so old and ugly. You didn't owe me any explanation. You didn't need to be careful of me. There wasn't anything I could do about you and her. Why should you be careful of me? You didn't love me. Look at me.
Nobody loves
Can't
her.
you even look at me?
She's crazy blonde there. That's crazy blonde talk there. Yeah, she's a Karen.
The crazy blondes can really be lethal.
Well, in the sack, but not when you got to argue with them. They kill you with that blonde
Shouldn't
logic.
have come here. I'm around that corner
I'm not
now.
saying anything about her being crazy.
You've
but
ruined it.
I'm just saying,
It's lost.
in my life, I've heard about crazy blondes.
Just sharing needing me won't make it come back.
Oh, that was great.
And crazy redheads. And crazy brunettes.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, pretty much they're all crazy.
Yeah, that was a very successful initial picture from Peter Bogdanovich, I think his name is.
Yeah, Bogdanovich, and it's done in black and white, which really wasn't, by then, much
It was
black and white
one
production
of the
was
last black and
gone.
whites. I mean, it was intentionally black and white. Take you back to the early 50s when that was being set in Texas.
What's racist? Oh.
Is
it? I don't think we can say black and white
That's
anymore.
not true, because I eat black and white cookies all the time. And
That's
they're
racist.
Really good. They're not racist.
You can't say black and white.
Any
Abe, can you say
decent
black and white in the 21st century? Is that allowed anymore?
I have no idea what you can say on the 21st century. I mean, I don't even know.
I want to. You know what? I want to
Hump
play
Day on Wednesday.
next week. We're going to play that song, "Ebony and Ivory."
Ebony and Ivory.
You remember that song?
I think you can do that. I think that's still okay.
Ebony and Ivory.
So he doesn't say black.
Live together in perfect harmony.
Well, we did then.
Side by my piano, keyboard, Say, look, why can't we? That's very good.
Yeah, this is very good.
I just remembered that from a long time ago.
You know who else can sing? Is you know who else can sing?
Abe? I don't know.
This guy.
Frank?
Do you know Miranda?
Do you even know the Miranda rights?
First, I have to read you the Miranda rights. You have the right to remain...
Abe Miranda.
I've never Miranda'd anyone before.
Don't give me attitude, sir.
Yeah, Abe Miranda's got a pair of pipes.
Of course.
And he may break into songs spontaneously
he
anytime
hangs
during
out
the
with
show,
Frank.
Yes.
You know,
all I ask did you learn how to sing from Tank, Abe, growing up?
No, you know what? I've never been a singer, especially my band. When I was in high school, I was more of the playing the drums when I was in high school. But no, I think just over time, you just. I think look, if I learn how to sing, maybe on TikTok. You know, TikTok.
TikTok. Okay.
I don't know.
You know, every moment and move you make on
for
TikTok is
you.
being recorded by the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah, that's why I only say bad things on TikTok, so they can have that.
They're tracking
They can have
you.
all the terrible messages.
Do you use TikTok?
Oh, he's a big TikTok.
I know a few people that use it. It's too much technology for me.
I have a TikTok account. I have a few videos on there, but I normally tag them on Twitter. So, but I don't have too many. I mean, I think TikTok is really a good forum if you're, younger generation and following, kind of the newer things that are coming about. But it's a nice platform. But I think it's more for the younger crowd. There's a few older folks on there, but I think even a chinchilla has an account there that people follow. A chinchilla.
Mm-hmm. One of those animals?
Cute as hell.
Yeah.
Like there's parrots.
Parrots.
So people maybe have their own little pet, and then they do TikToks with the pet. They did one with the chinchilla where they're singing or they're interviewing the chinchilla, and they're just making cute little videos with their pets, and it's amazing how. Yeah.
What is a chinchilla anyway? It's like a little mink or something.
A guinea pig.
It's like a pig. It is a pig type of pig.
No. He's more like
It's like a mink, isn't it?
Very furry.
Yeah.
Very furry and soft guinea pig.
Buzz.
Like a guinea pig. They're small. They're just like cute little. They look like a bunny and a guinea pig got together in my junior high class and came out with a chinchilla.
And found the hole.
Yeah. Yes.
You could make coats out of them, though. I'm sure that people have.
Oh yeah, chinchilla coats and fur and everything. Sure, that's why it's familiar.
Oh, we shouldn't talk about that.
So TikTok. So could you? So if you can have pets pages and stuff, could you have a vagina page? Is this my pet vagina?
Well, we could call it Beaver.
Yeah, Beaver.
Technically, it's a beaver.
And just have a close up of the beaver. I mean, you could theoretically, couldn't you?
Theoretically, you could have a TikTok page with the beaver.
Yeah, just that's it. Just the beaver, and just the beaver can talk and it can move its lips and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bucky the Beaver. Yeah.
Bucky the Beaver. Becky the Beaver.
That's what they called me when I was a kid. My dad said that because I had really bad buck teeth for a few years.
Oh, I called you Bucky.
When you're...
Well, no wonder you're so screwed
I was
up,
like
dude.
6
I mean,
or
that must
7.
have been emotionally scarring.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. Just these huge white teeth. I had this long hair. My mom never made me get a haircut, so I had this long hair. I thought it was kind of girly. And, it scarred me for life. No, I got braces, and I cut my hair, and everything was pretty much better after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when the good looks came out.
Just the awkwardness of being, 9, 10, 11.
17. Did Genesee and sing about that?
My voice was still really high at 13 when I had my bar mitzvah, and people will tell you I could really hit those high notes. And still, once in a while, I can, but that changed.
Is that when you used to sing in the Catholic choir?
No. I didn't even sing in the Jewish choir.
Oh, they have Jewish choir.
They should have had one at my Hebrew school, but...
Well, they didn't know
we
the
just
talent.
Learned the language
built one out of you.
And learned how to dance, do Jewish dances. Anyway.
Like the Casbah?
I'm digressing.
We're really getting
digressing.
off track. Abe, I was up. I know you do adventures on Saturday. Yesterday, Ida, my wife, and I, we do adventures too, and we were up at the Grove yesterday.
Yeah, and this is what she kept saying every time they offered her something that she liked. She said,
"Oh, this is a great club."
I forget. I'm just a girl who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix.
Can't say no.
I always say, come on, let's go. Just when I ought to say nix. When a person tries to kiss a girl, I know she ought to give his face a smack. But as soon as someone kisses me, I somehow sort of want to kiss him back. I'm just a fool when lights are low. I can't.
Vacancy sign around her.
Ida said when she heard your voice on the phone, she just couldn't say no.
How can I be what I ain't?
It's the vacancy signs flashing in that vagina.
Say no. What you gonna do when a fella gets flirty and starts to talk purty? What you gonna do? Supposing that he says
kidding, that's
that
what she's
your
singing
lips
about.
are like cherries or roses or berries.
It's like X-rated stuff.
What you gonna do? Supposing that he says that you're
It's
sweeter
about as
and
X-rated as they
cream
got
and
in
he's gotta
Oklahoma
have
in the
cream or
1950s.
die. What you gonna do when he talks that way? Spit in his eye? I'm just a girl who can't
Come in his
say
face?
no. Kissing's my favorite food. With or without the mistletoe. I'm in a holiday mood. Other
Great
girls
lyrics, too.
are
You have to
coy
admit.
and hard to catch,
Hammerston
but other
knew how
girls ain't
to
having
put
any
those
fun.
words together.
Every time I lose a wrestling match, I have a funny feeling that I won. Though I can feel the undertow, I never make a complaint till it's too late for restraint. Then when I want to, I can't say no.
Oh,
From Oklahoma.
That's tight, man. That is well done.
Yeah. Rogers and Hammerstein.
I love those
Great
guys.
Broadway musicals
talented.
brought to
Yep.
movies.
What were some of the other ones that they did? I mean, I know they did.
King and I.
The King and I.
Jeez, there's more than that.
It's just when I think of them, I think of Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oklahoma and the King and I are the first two that come to my mind.
Mm-hmm. The King of I, and then I didn't see much of that. I should watch that because that's Yul Brynner and Deborah Kerr.
Well, we should go visit Broadway. This stuff all plays in and around there. All the bests are playing down there. You spend much time on Broadway, Abe? You know, catching any shows?
You know, I watched a few. I've watched a few shows on Broadway.
Yeah.
I think the last one was the Wizard of Oz one. Forgot what the name of the show was. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it was great. But I also do a lot of shows in Vegas, not necessarily Broadway, but there was a great Phantom of the Opera show at the Venetian for many years, and they had this amazing chandelier that was amazing. It was suspended over the audience, and it moved. I mean, it had like a life of its own, and it was a gorgeous. That was probably one of the most amazing chandeliers I've ever seen for a Phantom of the Opera show. But it's a shame that it rotated out, so we can't see it anymore. But let's see what the name of the show was for the Wizard of Oz one that I saw. Wicked. It was called Wicked.
Oh, Wicked. Okay, yeah, Wicked. That's huge. That's huge.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's big time.
Wicked was. Now the other ones that I've been wanting to see with my wife was the Lion King show.
Uh-huh.
We heard that was a really good show, and we were really waiting for it to come during the rotation for that. The other show that we've seen, not necessarily at the theater, but on Disney Plus, was the Hamilton show.
Did you see Hamilton? So you saw Hamilton?
Yes.
And tell us, can you give us a report? I've never seen it. I've always wanted to.
Well, Hamilton is very interesting in that it really is it's modern. It's like they have a Hamilton and his story and all the trials and tribulations that he has had. The thing that's very interesting about Hamilton is that, first of all, the characters in the show are mixed race. So, for example, George Washington is black in this play, or for example, Aaron Burr is black.
Are you sure? Or maybe it was just George Washington in blackface.
Uh-oh.
How do you know?
No. It was all black cast because the musical is and for example, Hamilton himself was Lin-Manuel Miranda, so he's
Carmen Miranda,
Hispanic. Yeah, because the play was written by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So and he
that play was Mirandaized or Mirandized.
Another Miranda.
Another Miranda, yes. But this one can really sing, and he's Hamilton. And then what's very interesting is that it's a musical, but it's also like rap-based musical.
Yeah.
So it's very, very, very interesting. It's a very interesting.
It was a black guy playing. It was a
on
black
that
guy playing a white guy.
Well, it's okay, right?
I think it's unusual because the whole cast is mixed race, so it's just a very interesting dynamic that they're retelling this story of Alexander Hamilton and all the contributions that he's paid and all the trials and tribulations that he went through, and then but it's kind of like spun in a modern way with the cast being mixed race and the music being rap and kind of modern. And but at the end of the day, what's really nice is that they're really telling the story of Alexander Hamilton that I think a lot of people don't really get. Maybe they're not reading on their own, or maybe not really gone in depth in school. And so it gives people an idea of kind of the roots of this country and how it kind of started, and some of the players that helped influence it in indirect ways. Alexander Hamilton wasn't, he wasn't the president.
Okay, well, it was.
But
he was the Secretary of the Treasury, and he's on a $10 bill.
Right. Yeah.
So he had a big contribution to our history and banking system, and of course he was the guy that had the duel, right?
Yes.
With Aaron Burr.
Yes.
And he shot Burr, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he lived. But I mean,
no.
It was the other way around, wasn't it?
Oh, Burr shot him.
Burr shot him. Burr won the duel.
Oh my.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what the reason was for the I think it was some kind of it was just like some kind of political thing.
Uzi 9mm.
Wasn't it? It wasn't. Was it? It wasn't really a personal insult, was it?
In a way, it was, because Aaron Burr was running for president, and Alexander Hamilton, he supported his arch nemesis, which was Thomas
Jefferson. Yeah.
Oh.
But it was just political,
and he wasn't expecting that, and so he took it personally, and then it became.
It's incredible that they allowed that to happen.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
You could challenge somebody to a duel and not be convicted of a crime for killing him, I guess, because it's
that was, and then it was done in New Jersey because New Jersey had a law like they hadn't outlawed it yet, like they couldn't do it in New York, like you couldn't.
Yeah, you can't murder people. It's silly law. Goddamn law.
But it was phased out of the states at different times, I guess. So,
so they could cross state lines and commit a murder.
I mean, just think about that. Alexander Hamilton was a big shot. He was a great man in a lot of ways, and he just got taken out in a duel. It really wasn't so civilized back then. I think there were still vestiges of our brutal historical past as humans.
Oh, we founded on revolution. It was violent right from the beginning.
Yeah, but revolutions haven't stopped. But just the idea that in civilized society you could do something like that in a duel, and you could that kind of thing was tolerated as like some kind of acceptable contract.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Today we find it uncivilized, but I can imagine a time when it wasn't.
I'd be interested to know when that got completely done away with. Probably
after that. 1800s, I guess. 1830s?
1820s? I don't know. Yeah.
Like the practice just quietly disappear.
So, yeah, that was interesting, Hamilton. And
he was portrayed by a black man in that version of it, Abe?
No, it was actually portrayed by Lin-Manuel Miranda himself.
But he's not African. He's light-skinned Caucasian, isn't he?
He's Hispanic. I think he's Puerto Rican.
Okay. So he's
sort of not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was Alexander Hamilton, but they did cast a black for Aaron Burr, and so was George Washington was black, and then some of the Scarlet Sisters that Alexander Hamilton, I think he had married one. They were portrayed they weren't all white. Some were mixed race. Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a very modern twist.
Yeah, and it was all done, in good-natured fun. I mean, to have these, tongue-in-cheek, to have these characters cast this way, just for the shock of it, and shock and awe, I guess, of it to see it flow so well. And then the rap music. Now, do you regularly listen to rap music? Is your ear tuned to it?
You know what? I don't. I think I spend most of my time on listening to sports talk radio, things of that nature, Howard Stern. But as far as music, I like more of the modern hits, pops.
So you weren't a fan of NWA? You didn't listen to Tupac or Public Enemy or anything growing up?
I did, I did listen to Tupac and I did listen to Biggie. Those were, that was all integrated with the '90s scene. I think that was, growing up in the '90s, we had a very diverse music that we could listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Ice Cube.
Yeah, Tupac,
how about Ice Cube? Listen to some Ice Cube. He's LA product.
50
Cent. Okay.
50 Cent.
So you listen to rap, because they speak really fast. And to the uninitiated, you don't, you're talking too fast. You can't even understand it. But when you can get your mind up to that level to hear it, them rapping it out, it's there's a lot of the message per minute is very high content. There's a lot of message in every minute of rap.
You can play them.
Eminem.
We have a clip involving a duel between 3 or 4 people at the same time. That was that. Get Hard from Get Hard.
Oh, yeah.
On the tennis court.
Yeah, let's slip this one in. This is, speaking of.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Wait, what happened to my tennis court?
James, you will no longer refer to this area as a tennis court. From this point on, this is the yard. Understand something, James? The yard is the most deadliest part of prison. It's where you come to get your few precious minutes of fresh air and sunlight. Do you understand me?
Fresh air. How many times did I breathe in clean air, fragrant with lavender, and take it for granted?
James, I don't give a fuck how many times.
Max,
I don't give a shit.
Security.
Shut up, James. You gotta step carefully, because if you step in the wrong place at the wrong time, you'll end up in the wrong territory. For a person like you that can't fight, it's not a good thing, James. Not a good thing at all. Right now, you in the brothers only section, man. You got 2 seconds to get your white ass out. If you get mollywopped.
Okay, Darnell.
Who's Darnell?
Mollywop.
My name is Leroy. Yeah, I suggest you walk, white boy.
All right.
Walk!
I'm walking.
Turn around and walk.
I'm walking.
Yeah.
Hey, S.A. You got a problem, Gringo?
Now here's a
Darnell,
black
what are you
man
doing?
playing
Darnell? Who's Darnell?
Puerto Rican.
You're looking at Carlos. I suggest you walk wherever you came from, S.A., before you have a problem.
I just was trying to leave that area.
Okay, well, you need to go back over there with the Negroes, S.A.
With Leroy.
You go back over there with the Negroes, because that's where you belong.
I don't see anyone.
Yeah, you belong with the Negroes. Go.
Going.
Fuck you calling a Negro, Carlos?
He was. I wasn't.
I told you, Carlos, keep that shit over there on your side. Take that Yankee with you.
I'll go with you.
Hey, I don't want him. I don't want him. He's a Negro lover. You take him. Motherfucker, Carlos. Say something else. Hey, I swear to God.
Guys, please.
I swear to God, I'll cut you,
Let's
S.A.
just shake hands.
There is no shaking hands, Gringo.
Friendship.
You go back where you belong.
I don't know where I belong.
Leave him alone. I'll keep him.
Nice
You belong
playing.
with me.
Who are you?
I'm Dante.
I guess you can
Why
do
don't you leave him
African-American
alone,
game.
Carlos? Leave him
He's
alone,
cute.
Leroy.
Are you a woman?
I am if you want me to be.
I don't want that. No. Oh, okay, I know what you
Let me
are.
hold your pocket.
I
Let me hold your pocket.
All right.
He is such a great
I
actor.
claimed
The way
him.
he plays his
He mine,
characters.
Leroy. Bitch, you got 2 seconds to let his fucking pocket
Takes a
go.
lot of energy to do this.
You got 2 seconds, bitch.
hit a woman.
I'm gonna knock your ass out.
Don't hit a woman.
You don't want my
Seamlessly.
pocket.
Yeah.
You don't want it. So what? Why can't I be happy?
Normal person would get
Hey,
very
SA.
confused.
I don't like you on this domestic shit in front of me and my crew.
Woody
don't. You
Allen
think
did
I
this.
like it?
You need to fucking take it somewhere else, S.A.
In
Huh?
Bananas, I saw
Gringo,
this
you take you on your dirty
the-
bitch
in the
elsewhere.
courtroom.
Go all the
Don't
way
call
over
me
there.
dirty, Carlos. I wasn't dirty when you was up in it. I wasn't dirty then, was I? You were dirty then, you're dirty now, bitch. So what?
You should be.
So what? He ain't
should get
complaining. He ain't complaining.
No, I'm not complaining because we have yet to have any sort of interaction.
Tonight will be our
No,
night.
we won't.
Hey,
Tonight won't
be
happen.
my white knight.
Don't get your
Save
hopes
me.
up. Don't get your
Let me
hopes up.
ride you.
Right
Let me
me
ride you into
No,
safety.
I don't feel
Don't let them fight you like that.
Let go of me.
Don't let them
Leroy
fight
is
you.
going to be upset. I knew you were coming back.
Hey, motherfucker!
I knew you were coming back.
Motherfucker!
I knew you were coming
You're
back.
making me mad, motherfucker!
I'm not doing anything.
Motherfucker, I'm about to whoop your ass, white boy!
I'm just standing here.
No, you not!
Trying
You
to
got
figure
my
out,
bitch!
Trying to figure out a place
I'm
that
your
I can.
old bitch. We're like zebras.
We're not like a
We are like a zebra. You're my...
Somehow you're getting me to hug you,
Yeah.
and I don't know how
Yeah.
that's happening.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. That's it, Gringo. I swear to God, I'm getting
I'm
sick of this
still
shit. I'll fucking
confused
stab
as to what piece you are in this
Forgot
puzzle,
how this
Carlos.
ends.
you. Huh?
Hold on.
Huh?
Hold on. Question.
What?
Question. Are there any French
Oh,
gangs?
French gangs.
I speak French. I'm not fluent, but I can. Je m'appelle James.
My name is
Can I
James.
join the gang, s'il vous plaît?
That was tight.
Yeah. So
Kevin Hart. Wow.
that was from the Get Hard movie. Yeah, you saw that, right?
I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I do remember it, and it was hilarious, and it was Will Ferrell, and wow, he's hilarious. They're just great. Good movie. Good choice.
Yeah, maybe it's time for another Will Ferrell movie sometime soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can roll one at any time. He's great. He's grandfather. He can't make a bad movie anymore.
Uh-huh.
So we had an anniversary on April 16th. We just passed here.
What was that?
The 21st anniversary of the Patriots picking Tom Brady in the 6th round.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's been 21 years.
21 years, yeah. So
That's
Brady
a
Brady
long
was
time.
quoted as saying,
Wow.
my anniversary is now old enough to drink.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, but I will tell you something. Tom Brady looked so happy in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked so
Mhm.
happy to be on that float parade in Tampa Bay. Wow. You know, so he's really come a long way.
He's
He has
happy
come a
because he's in
long way.
Florida. He doesn't have to pay income taxes.
Yeah, that too.
And
Bruce
the weather's
Arians.
better.
Weather's better than New England.
Man, I think that weather was starting to get to him. That's hard. That's a hard place to live.
I think the Prince of Darkness was starting to get to him. Yeah, the genius coach.
Yeah. He's tired of all the controls. Life is probably a little simpler with Bruce Arians.
And who doesn't like Bruce Arians? You know, what a great guy.
Seems like a really
demonstrated himself numerous times before. Yeah, he was definitely worthy. Nobody can say he wasn't worthy. He paid his dues,
Tom Brady was with Belichick for a long time, so
forever.
It's like Belichick's not a bad guy. He's just maybe he's a more complicated guy, and over time things get strained. I mean, that was a long time.
Well, Belichick, I mean, not to bang on a stereotype, but he's a control freak.
That's what they say.
Yeah. Arians is not a control freak to that degree, anyway. Like, it's just different personality, different type of coaching. You know, Belichick's like details. You know, like right down to like we would like to have a cheat or spy on people to get relatively irrelevant information, but does something there that we can find for an edge, and try and squeeze in somewhere, or just have ready in the playbook somewhere, and to organize our time so efficiently that every moment is spent doing something productive that's going to add to our position here. Should the game go this way, or should the game?
Well, I'd like to hear from one of those players to hear exactly what that was like.
Well, maybe we can get Julian Edelman on.
Got to work on that.
The news came out this week that he retired.
Yeah.
So Edelman's retired.
So I could try to find him somehow.
Some connections there through the synagogue.
Through the American Jewish Congress.
Yeah. Do you have don't we have a phone directory we can look up?
Yeah.
It's only
I'll
published.
Tap into
to Jewish people.
My New England Jewish network. I have quite a few friends there. I'll have to talk to my father about that, though. They don't like talking about him because he's associated with Republicans.
Edelman?
No, Belichick.
Oh, Belichick. Yeah. He is.
Why am I thinking of Belichick?
So's Kraft.
Edelman's linked to Belichick, I guess, and Tom Brady and
Kraft
in their minds. But I know my dad's proud of Jewish athletes. He always talks about it. It's like one of those deals. He's always saying, "Did you know this guy was Jewish?"
Sandy Koufax.
No, baseball players all the time. Because there's quite a few.
Oh, okay. Well, here's something that blew me away. So I and I were having a chat the other day, and she asked me, "What's the percentage in the league that's of the MLB that's African American?" So it's probably about a third of the league. Probably a third.
I think it's probably
African American. So here's what my answer.
Too high.
My damn answer was third African American, a third white, a third Hispanic.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That was so wrong.
You want to keep?
Well, hold on. Let's see what Abe thinks it is. Abe, do you have any sense of what the league is demographically?
I would say, wow, good guess. 55% black. 25%. Well, 50% black, 25% Hispanic, and 25% white.
You want to know my answer?
Yeah, no, Chab Dog.
What you got?
I'd say 15% black, 35% white, and 50% Hispanic.
Yeah. So I was blown away to learn that black players are 7.6%.
So I was way off.
Oh, wow.
I was like, they were half of what I said.
7.6%.
Yeah, but you guys were like,
wow.
And the Hispanic players, I didn't write it down. Do you remember the Hispanic players? What percentage were they? Not much.
I said
50.
I said 50%.
No, they're like 20%.
Oh,
and everybody else is what?
White.
Yeah, Wonder Bread.
Yeah, so I was wrong. I thought there were more Hispanics in baseball.
I
think I think if you look at who the better players are, the Hispanics are more in the higher. There's a higher proportion of Hispanics that are like all-stars.
Man, you are so racist. Quit stereotyping the Hispanics, will you? But I tend to say you're right. Yeah, the highly skilled players. Well, look at Mariano Rivera.
The black players are probably better. Tend to be better than the white players.
Ortiz,
Manny Ramirez. But you're right. When you really think about it, recently, well, Aaron Judge is. I think he's part black.
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of the best players? What about Giancarlo Stanton?
Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts. Yeah. I mean, the pitchers tend to be white or Hispanic, but they tend to be white.
Uh-huh.
You got Familia Hispanic.
Familia for the Mets.
Catchers.
I don't know any African-American catchers. I can't think of one.
Manny Sanguillen for the Pirates, and that was a long time ago.
Well, Salvi. He's Hispanic, though. Yeah. Huh.
See, you can't... it's generally kind of hard.
Yeah, but just back to the stat, though, 7.6%. Now, 20 years ago, black players represented 13% of the league. Only 13. So it's not like they were ever that
So
high.
it's going down. That's the point.
Yeah, it's
because
going down.
I think they go into football and NBA a lot more.
Is that the reason? Okay,
And
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's just the way it is, and Hispanics are growing. I think
It's probably because we don't have the Negro Leagues anymore. There's a museum in Kansas City, isn't there, hon?
Well, Negro Leagues were
Negro
done
Leagues
in
Museum?
the 30s, right?
Yeah. Baseball. Well, of course, it's baseball. What else?
It's just that's been dead a long time, and since then we didn't have much NBA then. NFL
There was no NBA, was there?
Baseball was the only sport really for a long time.
Yeah. So you see, your theory is there are fewer blacks in baseball because the highly skilled are going into other areas.
They're just going into to basketball and football, and those are the main things, I think, and maybe martial arts and boxing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything
also
deliberate here.
maybe
Yeah, we think
maybe MLB. Well, maybe MLB is also, when they do a lot of scouting, they oftentimes go to a lot of Latin American countries, and they always even go to the Caribbean.
I wonder why.
The Dominican Republic and things like that, and so they're scouting down there, and they're getting from that pool too.
I'd like to do a study on this. Maybe I'll try to crunch some numbers,
Cuba.
but it's kind of technical research that you might have trouble finding the answers to on the internet.
Yeah, but you know damn well that Major League Baseball, the way they recruit, they'll take players. They don't care where they're getting the players. They'll take the best players they can find anywhere. So they're not. It's not like they're overlooking people here in the United States of any race, for that matter. I mean, if they do, it's to their disadvantage because somebody figures it out, just like they did when they
It's
started
just
bringing
an
Cuban players.
interesting. It's an interesting
Got the advantage.
thing to look at, and it's a lot different than the NBA. That's for sure.
Yes. Yeah, there's definitely
NFL is in the middle somewhere in terms of.
Oh, I'm not even going to guess anymore. I was so far off with Major League Baseball. I think.
I think
my senses
NFL
are
is still
broken.
dominated by. With I think black athletes are probably. I don't know. I want to say 50 to 60% of the NFL.
Abe, help us out here. What do you think it is?
Maybe it's 70%.
Well, I of the NFL.
Yeah.
I would say it's up there. I would definitely say more than 50%. But then I was wrong with baseball. So
I know.
think NFL.
You were just. I don't know. I think you were basing. You were thinking about baseball and NFL with NFL lens, and so somehow that colored what you said because you just figured that they were pretty much the same.
Like I'm along with you guys. I guess 50 as well, but I was so off on baseball. I'm second guessing myself. We'll look it up. But
Yeah, well, that's for maybe coming out of the break.
You look at the team, and you're like, I think half the team is black or Hispanic. You look at the roster and you go, oh well, we're the white. Yeah, you have a few white players on the team, and you have a few pitchers that are white. But
but it's really Hispanic.
Pitchers.
It's really Hispanic dominated now, and some white, but. There's just like the Houston Astros, they have a lot of Hispanic players, and a few white players, and I don't know how many black players. Very few.
Yeah, very few.
But then you
Asians
have
too.
Asian players, like Yu Darvish,
Ohtani.
for the Padres.
There's a few Asian
lost
players.
last time.
Yeah, there's a few that they scout from Japan. And Korea.
Japan is supplying more people. now.
Korea. Young Kim.
Japan and Korea. Yeah, so you get a little bit of that. I mean, that's a very small percentage, I think, of Asian players.
Yeah, it's like 3.
That's probably that must be really down there.
3.
But it's trending up.
3%?
Trending up. It's only 3. Yeah.
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 So it's just
all right. Well, it's coming up on 10 o'clock here, so I think we should go to the break. Fade out with whatever you'd like, and
back in time.
Oh, I think for the break we play something kind of on the long side.
Stick around. Second half. Chad Dog Sports Talk.
We'll be back with more Chad Dog Sports Talk.
The law office of Brandon S. Chabner, serving clients in Southern California with transactional legal services since 2007. We handle general, corporate, outside counsel type work, drafting and negotiating a wide variety of business and commercial contracts, including non-disclosure agreements, independent contractor agreements, and employment agreements. Our experience includes working with public and private companies and involves a broad range of industries, including healthcare, consumer products, real estate, and high technology. Mr. Chabner has over 20 years of legal experience, having worked for some larger national firms and serving as general counsel for a multi-million-dollar private company here in Southern California before starting his own legal practice. His educational credentials include a law degree from UCLA, where he was on law review, undergraduate degree at Yale, where he graduated magna cum laude, and an MBA from Harvard Business School. Other areas of focus for Chabner Law include press release and business plan editing, pre-litigation matters, and debt and mortgage resolution work. You can contact us at 310-698-0740 and at bchabner@chabnerlaw.com.
Like Chab Dog said, he was 100% right.
He can take all comers.
We're told that greatness is exceptional, when it should be expected. You choose every day to live your life intentionally, without apology for how bright your light may shine. So go be great. Go be brilliant. Go be you. Go defy life. The Defy Life movement is one that speaks to each of us in its own way. Defy Life gear speaks to us all by reminding us that one size does not fit all. Visit defylifegear.com to get fitted for greatness.
Operation Rainbow has entered Phase 3 precisely on schedule. You may notify our brokers in Bombay, Ceylon, and Tokyo that the gold will not be delivered. Repeat, not be delivered to London on Monday. "10 seconds behind schedule."
Is that catastrophic?
Yes, I deplore sloppiness. Phase 2, intercept McDonald. Repeat. Phase 2, intercept McDonald. Yes, Your Excellency. Go.
What if they can't?
If we can delay the American counterforce by that much, it will add precious minutes to each phase of Operation Rainbow.
sequence. Operation Rainbow is entering phase 1. Execute. Repeat.
Congratulations are in order.
Congratulations are premature, my dear Massimo. The report from Zone 3 has been confirmed. And Mr. Helm is on the scene. Thank you. So what do you intend to do?
I haven't decided. At the moment, he's under surveillance.
Massimo, don't waste time. Kill him.
I never waste anything or anyone, dear Linka. But this breakdown in American security is far too convenient for my liking.
Our schedule has very little tolerance for errors.
Errors are made by those who blindly accept the obvious. And I can't believe that they would risk an agent of Mr. Helm's caliber quite so casually. But I will find out. And then I will kill him.
Take her anytime.
Oh, Sharon Tate.
Miss Carlson, Mr. Helm, my fiancée, Miss Linka Kerensky.
Miss Kerensky, they told me...
Linka, please call me Linka, Mr. Helm.
Well, make mine Matt, okay? They told me the Count had great taste.
Who told you that?
I did.
Mr. Helm, we came here to work, remember?
Yes, perhaps you'd like to start in the conservatory.
Come along, my dear.
What an outfit
The
you have
view
on.
is simply breathtaking.
Sure is.
Hey, you feeling better now?
Still kind of wobbly. I keep thinking of Babe and Red.
Ah, there's no use of worrying about them. If they didn't kick off, the coppers have.
Roy, do you think they'll talk?
If they don't, Mendoza will, but who cares? I'll be turning that box over to Big Mac in a couple of
Ida.
hours. He's gonna hand me a wad of dough.
Oh, gee. Then we'll be all set, won't we, Roy?
Sure. You got quite a piece of change coming to you,
She was
too,
in
and I'm
another
gonna see
movie
that you
called
get it right
The
away.
Bigamist.
'Cause I'll be blowing
Did
pretty
you see
soon.
that?
Going back east, I guess.
Yeah, she was the woman
I
that
don't talk like a sap. You stick around with
the
me, you'll never be
bigamist
in
fell in
anything but
love
trouble.
with.
Look, Roy,
He was
no matter
married
what
to
happens,
Joan Fontaine.
I'm sticking with you.
But
Don't think
he,
you're ever going to check me so easy.
and she- Joan Fontaine is charming
We'll
in
see.
her.
Come on, let's go. Come on, Pod.
Oh,
But
New
remember,
Jersey too.
If the going gets too tough, I'm gonna have to park you for a while.
There have been a couple of
just said for a
movies
while. That makes me
about
feel good.
bigamists. And another one was
If I really
called
get
The
in the way,
Incredible
you can
Mr. Pennever or something. It was.
It's a
He
deal.
was. It was in the
Now,
late
you get stuff with me
1800s, early
and fight out for a
1900s.
while.
So different time
I can
period
look out a little.
completely.
You ain't trying to pull a fast one on me, are
What?
you? Because I don't like fast ones.
Well, take the stuff with you if you feel that
Yeah,
way.
I'm.
But it'll be like carrying a bomb.
I don't know. It's just my thing. I like
Okay. Give me a couple of
history.
$100 and
I
keep
should have
this.
been a history professor.
But if I don't
That's
get my
really
end, you
what I
ain't gonna be
enjoy.
around long. You and Larry
But
both.
I was
don't worry,
convinced
Roy,
it
you'll get
wasn't a good idea
Here's the
for my
200.
career to do that. So I know, because I really should be in
That's what I
a
want.
college teaching people in that age group who are more, enthusiastic, want to learn with a pipe and stuff. I'm telling her about movies involving bigamists. This Ida Lupino was in The Bigamist.
Oh, Roy.
The present.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was Ida Lupino, was she Italian or Jewish? Or both?
course. You wouldn't put it on the wrong finger.
So I got a Jewish first name and an Italian last name. It's kind of like Whoopi Goldberg. No, but he just converted. Sammy Davis, that's a Jewish name. Davis is a Jewish name. It can be. It isn't. It's one of those names that could go either way. In fact, there's a lot of non-Jewish Davises, but there are a lot of Jewish
With all
Davises.
these long distance calls.
Well, you should
Miller
have taken
too.
away Velma's
Miller,
boyfriend,
yes.
But no, think nothing of it.
There's
That's what he said.
I'm sure there's more names that are like that than we really.
Roy.
Yeah. Don't look like this thing's ever gonna cool off.
Look, I've been thinking things over.
Look
I like
at that
little
dog.
Pod here as much as you do.
That's a real mutt.
What Algernon said about him being bad luck?
Oh, that's a lot of malarkey.
Well, maybe it isn't, maybe it isn't.
How could a poor little dog be the cause of it all? That's just plain dumb.
Sometimes you get me crazy.
Maybe she's
you
a
think when you say a
philosopher.
thing, that's that. Nobody knows nothing but you.
Okay, Pod's to blame for everything. It's all Pod's fault. Have it your own way.
I didn't say Pa was to blame. I only said there might be something to it.
Oh, shut up.
Don't tell me to shut up.
What a Humphrey Bogart. What's been in there, this movie? He was coming into his prime here. Not there yet, but he was coming close.
This is just prior to Casablanca. This is 1941. So this is the end of an era where he played dime store gangsters for about 6 years.
Supporting roles.
Supporting roles, but gangsters, always the bad guy.
He started with George Raft.
That was
among
Maybe
others.
I have. Think I ought to go in and see the doc?
This movie, yes.
George Raft. I like George Raft.
You can't trust anybody, Roy. After all, $10,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah, it was back then, not now.
You're gonna turn me in and live easy for the rest of your life.
Roy, even in fun, don't ever say things like that.
Oh, there's the big smooch. And we're back. The Jab Dog Sports Talk Radio Show. The second hour.
I'm back now.
Of the, what's the name of this show?
The Taking Out the Trash Talking Show.
There we go.
Yeah. I actually take out the trash like once a week. Don't you do it once a week?
No, it's more like once a day I'm taking what's under the sink to the trash.
Oh.
Oh, you mean and then taking
my
it to
wife?
the curb?
My wife does that stuff. Actually, she does some things that I do once a week.
You are so sexist.
She does them every day, but I pay
Like-
more
like going
bills.
potty?
And I mean, I do certain things
That
that I
once a
have
week.
to do every day.
Yes.
I take the dog on more walks. That's for sure.
Well, more than once a day.
That dog's a lot of work. I took that Bingo out like 5 times yesterday. That makes him really happy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been coming to the office with me, so that's actually making me. That naturally helps my frame of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have that animal lying there on the couch, looking so comfortable in the middle of the day when I'm stressing out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't care in the world.
Yeah,
and
so
doesn't
it's
any desire to even understand yours.
It's sending a lot of positive energy my way.
Yes. Funny how that is.
But we had a special moment on Friday when I was driving home after a long day at the office, and he was, he got a lot of rest in, but he was kind of bored, and we drove by the park that I take him sometimes to go walk, and there's other dogs there, and he thought that we weren't going to stop, so he started crying.
Oh. Like literally crying.
Whimpering, making those longing noises, and so anyway, I'm digressing here. Let's back to the show, and I used to really love something. I really loved was watching the Oscars, and I don't know what year it stopped, but at some point it just became so canned and so it just wasn't anymore a natural, free-flowing show that I could really identify and look forward to. But in 1970s, it was great. This was a good award presentation to Cloris Leachman.
Yeah, listen to her for about a minute here. This is a good. This is a good person here.
And Gene Hackman and Raquel Welch behind her.
I'm having an amazing life, and it isn't over yet. Remember when Ben Johnson said in the last picture show, "I've fought all my life against," whatever he said, and I feel I've fought all my life against cliches, and look at me, I'm a hopeless cliche.
No, you're not.
No, but she is.
I
She
can't
feels that way.
thank anybody. I feel that
they're
we
awesome.
all are part of each other, that we've all contributed and we work together and we're all the same people. And I love you all for all the experiences I've had, except that I want to say to Cornelia Williams Hurlbut, my first piano teacher, and Rose Lorenz, my dancing teacher in Des Moines, and my father, Buck Leachman, who paid the bills.
Des Moines.
Wait a minute.
She's a good Iowa girl.
Wow.
The heart of the Midwest, right there.
And finally,
probably
my
Swedish.
mother,
What her extraction?
whose imagination and funny sense of humor and almost Walter Mitty life herself led to all of this.
You think she's Jewish?
I'm deeply honored. Thank you.
I never even thought of that. I always kind of looked at her as being kind of maybe waspy or something, or Anglican.
Yeah.
She's blonde.
Okay, then she could be.
But then again,
Norwegian.
I don't know.
Well, she played. Yeah,
usually I can
Norwegian,
tell.
Yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes. That is kind of Norwegian too.
We're gonna have to look that up in Wikipedia because they'll know. Wikipedia goes into everybody's background.
Yeah, Wikipedia's.
So,
invasion of privacy.
So that's something I like a lot. That's kind of changed.
That was a cute speech.
I also used to watch the All-Star Game all the time, baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. That was. I can just remember some special games in the 70s and even into the late 80s, early 90s. But
why was it better then? Because the All-Star Game for the last 20 years has been a joke. Why was it better then?
I'm trying to remember when it meant the home field advantage in the World Series. Because when that was the case, it really did mean something. But I think it was just Major League Baseball was really aggressively trying to create a brand, and they were players, just great players associated with teams real strongly, and so the fans for the different teams cared a lot about their stars getting in there.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't a lot of trades, so the players were associated with teams. Okay. And now it's getting blurred, it's getting mixed up, and we have politics coming in.
You're talking about the prior to the free agency era.
Yeah, but that seemed like that was still going pretty strong in the 70s and the 80s.
I watched the All-Star, and that's why I asked.
It started getting a little mixed up, though. You're right.
80s.
You're right. So.
I
don't know. It was just
40 years.
It was just baseball was bigger back then, so you really paid attention to who was good in baseball and who these stars were. They were well-known quantities going into the game, so it was exciting to see this collection of well-known stars going against each other. Whereas now, baseball's lost a lot of its appeal. So,
but there's still big stars. That's why I don't understand. If you buy that
kind of, but like I don't keep track of all of them because they don't have easy names to pronounce, and there's just baseball's just not holding my attention like it used to. Now it's football and basketball and whatever. What other things?
You've got no problem watching Manny Ramirez.
I'm a Red Sox fan, so I will always go watch the Red Sox intensely when I'm there.
No, but you can remember, to speak of names here, it doesn't have to be Mickey Mantle to say that you can't pronounce the guy's name. I mean, if he's a good.
I follow sports closely, but I'm just saying I think the average fan, the numbers have, and if you look at the TV numbers and then compare it against the NFL and the NFL, baseball is definitely, I think, falling away.
Mm-hmm.
And
hello.
That's why baseball's tinkering with the rules, trying to make it,
hi,
more immediately satisfying.
Okay, well, speaking of baseball, this is a perfect segue because I'm going to do a little segment on the show here called Buy, Sell, and Hold.
Okay.
And this week's topic is going to be baseball. And so Abe and Chow Dog, I'm going to ask each of you your position, and I'm going to be comparing the top team in each division and the bottom team in each division, and ask you is going to be buy, sell, and hold. And if you're taking too long or pussyfooting around, you're going to get one of these.
Do you speak it?
Let's do it.
If you do it right, you're going to get one of these.
Thank you.
You can play whatever clips you want. I don't care.
So starting with Chab Dog, the Yankees are at the bottom of the East at 5 mate. It's even worse. They're at the bottom. Is this a buy, sell, or hold?
As much as I'd like to dump on the Yankees because you know how I feel about them, and I'm really enjoying this, but I'm going to say that's going to sell it because it's not going to be the
English motherfucker.
They're moving on.
Okay, that's good. Abe, Yankees, bottom of the division. Do you buy, sell, or hold?
Sell.
Okay, sell. Okay.
Hi.
Good for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, my pick, bye. It's April. It's long. It's gonna be a long year. They got a lot of road. They'll get a lot better. And
no, that's you're like us. I think. I thought you were asking me, did I agree with that?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You got
the
Yankees are the bottom of the division. If you own them right now, do you sell it?
It's a false. It's not reality.
No,
it's not. It's not going to continue.
Do you buy into the Yankees at this low point? Okay, here we got to explain the rules of the game a little more. So the idea is, are you at this low point? Would you buy into them? Would you hold them and think?
Okay,
maybe
I buy into them.
It's a stock, so they're low. Whereas on the other side, and here's the next question: Boston top, buy, sell, or hold? Chabdog.
I'd buy it.
That's the joke.
I'm convinced they got a good thing there.
Abe.
Buy.
Me? Sell.
I like what I like.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd
sell. I mean, they're at the top.
Time.
They're not going to get any better than here, and this is where Boston starts to slide and the Yankees move up. In the Central, we got Minnesota's at the bottom. Chabdog. Buy, sell, or hold?
I think I'd sell that. I think the Twins are going to move up a little bit.
Hello?
They're not that bad.
Yeah, I would hold. Abe?
Hold.
Yeah, we'll see what happens to Minnesota. They'll do better as the season goes on, but KC is at the top of that division. They haven't lost a series yet.
That cannot last.
Buy, sell, or hold, Chabdog?
Sell them heavily.
Yeah, I would sell. Abe?
That's a false positive.
Hold.
Hold? Okay, I'd catch
I can't even tell you,
Thank you.
hardly anybody on that team other than the catcher who was around.
And in the West, we got Texas is at the bottom. Chabdog, buy, sell, or hold on Texas?
Sell. They're not good.
Hi.
Abe?
Sell.
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't even have held them to begin with, so sell the fuckers. On the other hand, we got Seattle is at the top.
That's
the West. Chabdog.
That's not going to last.
English, motherfucker, do you
Houston's going to win that division.
So what do you do?
Sell them.
Sell.
Mariners.
Yes, I would sell. Take cash in. Get those chips off the table. Abe.
Mariners. Who do they have?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Sell.
Thank you.
Yeah, sell. Take the money off. You can always buy them back later. And in the National League, we got the Nationals. They're sucking badly because they have sick old Nationals at 4-7.
Yeah, they lost some of their best players.
Buy, sell, or hold?
Don't buy them. Sell them. I guess
that's the joke.
Maybe hold them.
Dude, hold. You just said everything.
English, motherfucker, do you speak
sometimes it's in between, I would say sell them.
Sell.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Yeah. I wouldn't have bought them in the first place. I don't want anything to do with them. I would sell them. I'll get whatever I can out of them right now. How about you, Abe?
Hold for right now.
Thank you.
What they do. I mean, they're 500, 7-7.
See. So then we got the National League, the top or the top of the East, as we mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, on the opening, that the Mets are statistically, by winning percentage, even though they played fewer games, ahead of Philadelphia and ahead of everyone else in the division. So, Chabdog, buy, sell, or hold?
They're a hold.
Hi.
I think they're going to stay. They're going to stay a little above 500 for a long time.
Hello.
Okay. They're there by statistical anomaly. I would sell and sell fast.
I know you don't trust that, but look who the competition is.
Yeah.
Not compelling, really.
Yeah, the competition is themselves. It's the Mets. Abe.
You know what? I hate to sell my Mets, but we might have to sell them. But of course, let's make sure we keep Jacob deGrom though for some saving grace here for the end of the season. It's interesting to see what this looks like in October. But
Dick fucking Tracy.
Right now,
Dick Tracy.
They need better.
Thank you.
Need a few better people.
Well, I've always said deGrom would look good in pinstripes. Okay, and in the Central, we got the Cubbies. The poor old Cubbies are at the bottom, and we got
the Reds.
Hold on, but we'll go with Cubbies. Cubbies at the bottom. Buy, sell, or hold, Chabdog?
I'd hold them.
Uzi 9mm.
I actually don't think they're gonna. They're gonna maybe move above the Pirates, but that's about it. So maybe that's a weak buy.
Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be buying. I'm going to everything else I sold out of. I'm buying more Cubs. How about you, Abe?
Buy them for short-term pop.
You know what? Hold.
Hold?
Thank you. It's nothing compelling, though.
Okay, but then on the top, we got the Reds.
Right, and the Reds are good. I'd buy them.
Sell or hold.
I like the Reds. Buy them.
They're up. They're at a high, and you're going to buy more.
Buy more, because they got some young talent, interesting in some pitching now. It's amazing that the Reds are actually, there's something other than Joey Votto finally, and I'm interested in them. Yeah, if I could remember all the guys they got some new guys. Moustakas, I think.
Yeah, I thought you didn't track people you couldn't pronounce.
Can you help me more with this, Abe? You remember any other good players on the Reds?
Johnny Bench?
I think we should talk about this a little bit. Because people are used to the Reds as a laughing stock, and they're not. I think he's looking at the computer.
This might be the only time. Okay, well, let's finish off while he's looking up that. Let's go to the West. Colorado, buy, sell, or hold?
I'd sell them.
I'd hold them.
Usually the Rockies are never much good after about June, but this year I think it's not very good.
Dodgers are 13-2, the best start they've had.
That's amazing.
Brooklyn,
because I think the Dodgers, you want to buy them because there's nothing wrong with them, and there's probably nothing that's going to be wrong with them. They got too much talent and momentum right now. They're just going to dominate.
Yeah, so unlike Cincinnati, I would invest in the Dodgers too. I take a lot of my other winnings and cashes out and buy more Dodgers.
It's kind of like buying Amazon stock.
Yeah, it's a rocket ship to the moon.
Yeah, but the other good team in the West is the Padres, so I would be buying both of them.
Yeah, but unfortunately they play in the same division as the Dodgers, and
so they'll beat each other up a little bit, but they're a lot better than the other two teams in the West, and
Arizona and Colorado can be thrown.
Arizona actually is a decent team, but I think the class of that division are the Padres and the Dodgers. And in the East,
Abe's got some Cincinnati information for us. Do you, Abe?
Do you? I hear Abe typing.
What do you need from Cincinnati?
I was wondering who's in the lineup for the Reds.
Well, you have a few infielders and outfielders. You got Kyle Farmer and Nick Castellanos.
Castellanos is a pretty good player. And Jesse Winkler? Something in Winkler, I think.
Yeah, you got.
I think he got arrested for showing his Winklers to cars.
No, you think you have Henry Winkler.
Jeff Hoffman is on the pitcher.
Hoffman.
Sounds
like a white guy to me.
I think they got Moustakas.
My brother's named
Mike
Hoffman.
Moustakas now is playing for them, and Joey Votto. He's their big home run hitter.
Mark Payton. Joey Votto.
Yeah, Joey Votto. He's a good player. He's got a lot of home runs. He may be in the Hall of Fame someday. I think he's a switch hitter.
You got Tyler Stevenson, Tucker Barnhart. Those are your catchers.
Anyway, the Reds have some potential here, and the Brewers are a tough team. They've still got a lot of talent, so I think the Brewers will be in the playoffs with the Reds. And I think there's only going to be one team from the NL East that makes the playoffs, whoever wins that division. I really have a hard time seeing Atlanta not winning that division because they got the most talent in that. But it's a long season. Anything could happen.
Okay. Speaking of Hall of Fame, here's some names here of players who I think are worthy, but we'll never get in. And you tell me
we've gone through this, but yeah.
I got some new names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And here's somebody who should be dear to your heart. How about Hines Ward?
Oh, you're talking about football, not baseball.
Yes, I'm talking about football.
Oh. Yeah, we've gone into this. It's hard to see why he wouldn't get in with 1,000 receptions.
Yeah, but he's not getting in.
It's a lot of receptions.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of receptions. I mean, he should be in, but
he's more of a short possession receiver. But not. He's got a pretty good yards per catch average.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not as sexy and gaudy as Jerry Rice and some of the obvious choices. But Hines Ward did everything well, and I think he should be in there. There's no doubt in my mind he should be in there. The other problem is he's a receiver, which they're just fewer receivers get in.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not one of those physical positions, according to common. I mean, it isn't. It's not as physical as most of the other positions, but
okay, well, here, okay, on that same line, then here's for a physical position. Another guy that's great, but is not going to get in. Another Pittsburgh Steeler, defensive end L.C. Greenwood.
Yeah, that's too bad too, because I think Joe Green overshadowed him, and it's just hard. It's done, but that he's a really close call. I think a good argument could be made he should be in there, but then again, it's not so overwhelmingly unjust that I'm gonna blow a gasket on that one.
Okay. What, Zach Thomas? Remember Zach Thomas, linebacker for the Dolphins?
Yeah, another really good player.
Yep.
But he may not have lasted long enough. I think he got hurt.
Oh, was that a shortened career? Do that?
I don't know for sure, but it doesn't seem like maybe he had the raw numbers to kind of guarantee that he'd get in.
Okay, and
but
then
I'd like to know how often he was an All-Star. That would be interesting to see.
Okay, I don't have that stat handy, but he wasn't a slouch.
Yeah, I'd have to really be hooked into the computer to get the answer to that.
Yeah,
but
we don't have internet.
You can keep. Yeah.
Well, there was one. Yeah, the next one's one near and dear to my heart was Joe Jacoby, offensive lineman from the Washington Redskins, as they were known then.
Oh, he was an excellent player.
Oh, he was fantastic. Yeah, and it's another guy.
I think he should be.
He should be, but he's never going to get in, unfortunately.
God,
he's certainly worthy.
You're saying that because they passed the. Is there any way that like an old timers committee could put him, or veterans committee could?
Maybe. 20 years from now or something.
It's just looking. It's looking. At a certain point, the guy loses in momentum, and then.
Well, it's like all these names. All these people are ones that have been put forward before.
Yeah.
Sort of lost momentum. They're off on a tangent now, and maybe one day.
Joe Jacoby, he was around a long time, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah, he had a long career. He's got 3 rings.
A lot of All-Star, a lot of Pro Bowls.
Yeah, you remember him, Abe?
Well, here's the thing about Joe Jacoby. It's just like, how do you win 3 Super Bowls and then not be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I think that's
it's so
he
hard
should be in because the NFL is a lower bar.
You got 3.
Yeah.
You got 3 Super
It's
Bowl
just a
rings.
lower bar.
3 different quarterbacks.
Jeez.
Same head coach all the time.
Is Russ Grimm in the Hall of Fame? I think he is, right?
I think
he's the offensive lineman.
Maybe. Maybe not.
He's one of their I think he's their most famous offensive lineman.
Uh-huh. Russ Grimm? Yeah. No, Grimm and Jacoby.
Jacoby is up there too.
I'd say they're both. But
I just remember Russ Grimm from my high school days.
Blood burgundy and gold back then. Here's another one I was surprised. Roger Craig, running back.
Yeah. He didn't have quite enough of anything, really. He had the distinctive running style, the high kick.
Uh-huh.
And people remember him from the 80s as part of those 49er teams. I think he probably won 3 Super Bowls with them.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
He's borderline.
He just wasn't.
Mind, but still.
He wasn't spectacular in the way that.
He could be in the pre-Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's close, but
the close to.
I think I would say no for him.
Or maybe the Hall of Fame next door. It's a lot of really cheap land we can buy.
The honorable mention.
The honorable
building,
mention fame.
I'd put him in the honorable mention building.
Hey Abe, how about that idea? You ever been to Canton, Ohio?
No, I haven't. But Frank and we did speak about making a tour with all the Hall of Fames, including the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, on one of our trips in the next coming years. So that is something that Frank and I have talked about, and that's going to Cooperstown and going to Canada and doing all of that stuff right there.
That'd be a great
road
trip.
Hockey Hall of Fame, everything. So it's on the books. It's on the bucket list, you could say. The Frank the Tank bucket list.
Well, then you'll have to put this new location on there because I've been to Canton and there really is nothing for miles. It's just like Steubenville, Ohio. It's just full of stuff that's all like old buildings and empty lots, and it's not in messy or anything.
Steubenville. That sounds
like houseless, homeless people with tents and stuff.
That sounds like a German town.
But in any event, we could get some land there, and we could have like right around there because it's like thousands of people are drawn to the Hall of Fame there every year.
Speaking of German,
we could start. Let's do our hall, and we'll put these people in it. Like here's somebody, Cliff Branch.
Oh my God!
Where's Cliff Branch being honored?
I pointed that out. That's
he's not in the Hall of Fame.
That's an injustice and a half. He's got three Super Bowl rings. A great number of receptions is pretty high, like 470 or close to 500, and a lot of yards per catch. He killed it with yards per catch.
What do you call these guys near the Hall of Fame or
honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions, the honorable mention hall.
They recently put Drew Pearson in, and Cliff Branch has better statistics than Drew Pearson.
That's what I thought.
And the guy's probably going to. I don't want to be morbid about this, but he's getting up there. I don't think he's going to be around in 10 years if they decide to put him in 10 years. That would be terrible if he, like with Ken Stabler, the same thing where he didn't get put in until after he died, and that's disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really too bad for the person.
Yeah, but if we could open up like right next door the honorable mention hall.
Yeah, well, I just think he's in there.
But $5 admission, but $2 off.
He should be in the regular Hall of Fame. Definitely,
we could accept Bitcoin. How about that, Chad? We could accept Bitcoin.
Okay. We'll take your Bitcoin.
Exactly, we'll take Bitcoin. And the Reggie Wayne, wide receiver for the Colts. Remember him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Another receiver. You're going to find out quite a few of these receivers that have really good numbers.
Well, not in the honorable mention Hall of Fame. We're going to be mostly receivers. It's going to be great. Duper and Clayton will be in our hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
I'd like to put Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Why can't we have a rival hall? Yeah.
In the
so
honorable mention.
The NFL, they can go fuck themselves.
Actually, Ryan Fitzpatrick just goes in the Great Beards Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah. It could be that wing.
Yeah, with Lyle Alzado and John Matuzak.
Yeah, we could get two sides. Can do the wax sculptures for us.
Yeah. So, I had a song for Frank, a German song. You want to play that? The Elke Summer song?
Man, you're really going back, aren't you? It's a great song, though.
Have you ever heard a German love song?
German love song. Is there such a thing?
I would assume it would be Berlin.
Yeah, exactly.
This is from Elke Summer.
Melancholy. In September.
Oh no, this is she's not German here. She's just.
It's all over. I'm alone.
This is Frank.
And blue.
Well, it's September when the
melody.
This is after the Mets are officially out of the playoffs, or the running for the playoffs.
In
September. It's usually in September when the awful truth hits that the team isn't making it.
To you.
Actually, my birthday's in September, so I love September. But some terrible things have happened in September. I think the stock market crashed.
That was October.
Or was that October? We had the September 11th.
Yeah, there was that.
And a terrible massacre of Mormons called the Hans Mill Massacre was in September.
Mormons?
Same day, 11th.
On the 11th?
Yeah. 1870 something, I think.
Who massacred
them? Well, actually, it was the Utah Mormons. It's rumored that they didn't want these white settlers coming over through their territory, and these white settlers were massacred. It was like a covered wagon situation.
Oh, is that when they ate them to survive? They all got frozen? So
if you type in after the show, you check it out. It's called the Hans Mill Massacre.
But there was no cannibalism involved, right?
No.
Okay.
That was September. I think there's another bad thing that happened.
Jeez.
Columbine, I think. And that Columbine was in actually Hitler's birthday. Yeah.
That was April.
Yeah. 420. We're almost at that. Anyway, that's Elkie Summer.
Yeah, she's pretty sultry.
It's kind of mesmerizing, you know?
You know, as a child once knew a gentleman, much older gentleman. He'd been a submariner for Nazi Germany during the Second World War.
Oh, interesting.
Missing a leg. And he spoke with a very thick German accent. He's a tough guy. I think he listened to this song.
Really?
Yeah. I think he really dug this kind of music. It reminded him of sinking.
I have another
battleships.
clip that I thought I sent you of her singing in German, but I guess I don't.
Yeah, thank goodness. All the winds are taking it away.
Well, we have that. Well, we also have...
that is full corn dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like Oklahoma, too, playing a clip out of Oklahoma. It's like it should be the full corn dog show. I think the fair's back on.
That was tight, that Oklahoma bit. That was really tight. We also have we have the Jonathan Winters thing. We didn't even play that.
Oh, we'll get to him.
Yeah.
We got time. I do want to...
you know what we haven't done is the Tanks, Abe's racing thing.
No, we haven't, and I've got parts of that, too.
Yeah, maybe we should cue that up.
What theme music do we have?
Speed Racer.
Speed Racer.
But I don't know if you can get to that quick. Can you get to that?
Sure.
I could really go for that right now. Boy, that's like an instant pick me up when I hear that. And then I have to get back into my car and drive home and at 61 miles an hour. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, 61, not 62.
No, now it's 62 is like Tremor City. So the car's slowly slipping back. Like at some point, I'm not going to be able to drive it, but that probably will be 2040.
Here comes Speed Racer. He's a demon on wheels. He's a demon and he's gonna be chasing after someone. He's gaining on you, so you better look alive. He's busy revving up the powerful Mach 5. And when the odds are against him and there's dangerous work to do, bet your life's Speed Racer. See it through. Go Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer.
No big deal. The car just exploded. Killing somebody.
Yeah, they're all dead.
We're just watching this as kids thinking that's cool.
Yeah, no problem.
Longitude and latitude lines are the checkers.
Go Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer. Go.
All right.
What a beautiful intro, guys. What a beautiful intro. I mean, I'm energized after that.
You revved up?
Last week we left off with the Blue Emo Max Pain Relief 500, and just that. Of course, that race was after the show, and of course our leaders were Martin Truex Jr. in the 19 Toyota, Chase Elliott in the number 9 Chevy, and Denny Hamlin. That's your 1, 2, 3 on Martinsville. I forgot to mention last week that Martinsville actually has a famous hot dog. That is the most famous hot dog in all of NASCAR is at Martinsville.
Yes.
Today you will be able to catch the Toyota Owners 400 race. That one is at Richmond Raceway, and that one is in Richmond, Virginia. That one is going to start here at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Or I like to call it 12 p.m. Chab Dog Time. You'll be able to catch that race on the Motor Racing Network or Fox. So today, just regular Fox will be having today's NASCAR race. So you can just tune into that. This is a 300-mile race. It is considered a short track because it's only a 3/4 mile track. The thing that So we're going to try this thing called Who Takes Your Checkered Flag Today. So if any of your audience members want to chime in on who takes the checkered flag today as a prediction, I'm going to pick Denny Hamlin in the 11 car today. Who happens to be driving the FedEx car today. What's very special about the Denny Hamlin FedEx car today is that they did put a black ribbon on the stock car in memorial and tribute to the mass shooting that happened in Indianapolis.
Yes.
They're also going to put a hashtag FedEx Strong on the FedEx car today. So that's very, very special paint job that's coming out at the Toyota Owners 400 today. And it would be fitting that Denny Hamlin takes the checkered flag, especially since he hasn't won a race this season yet. So
but he just finished third, right? He just finished third in the last race.
That is correct. He just finished third in the last race, and so we are. Next week, I'll give you the results of the Toyota Owners 400 race. The thing that I will talk about also was we had the Formula One race this morning. That one was at 6 a.m. start time on Chab Dog time, Pacific Standard Time. That was your Italian Gran Premio. Of course, Formula One can't have a short name for the race, so it's the F1 Pirelli Gran Premio del Made in Italy dell'Emilia Romagna 2021. Of course, they can't keep it short and simple.
No.
And that. But anyways, they played on the Mola Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Dino Ferrari track.
Where is that? Is that Rome? Where is that?
Imola, Italy.
Ebola, Italy.
It's up north somewhere.
Like the Ebola virus.
I think it was Ebola, Italy.
Yeah.
So they had, Imola. It's a city in Italy.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting thing about that track was that it opened in 1953. The foundation stone was placed in 1950. And the first Grand Prix was in 1980. Your winners were Max Verstappen in the Red Bull Honda car. Your second place was Lewis Hamilton in your Petronas Mercedes. And then your third place winner was Lando Norris in the McLaren. The interesting thing is our Haas team, or American Haas team, Mick Schumacher finished in 16th. And, of course, the rookie Russian Mazepin in 17th place. Interesting fact about Mazepin is that they've been calling him Mazza Spin because he's been in 2 races and he's spun the car in both races. So there's a hashtag calling Mazza Spin out there.
It's just you don't want to be called Spin. I don't think that's not a good thing, is it?
Well, as long as you face the right direction, it's okay.
I think you want to spend most of your time not spinning if you're driving. If you want to live,
you
and win the race.
You definitely don't want to be spinning, especially since you're going to lose some position there. And of course, he was like about a minute behind his teammate Mick Schumacher. In interesting F1 news, they're still debating if they're going to be canceling the Canadian Grand Prix this year because of the COVID restrictions in Canada.
Yes,
that race
they gotta cancel everything in Canada until every single living thing has been cleared of this.
Well,
it's getting canceled. That's for sure. Yeah.
So, anyways, if that race is set for June 13 this year, it's still up on the table. If you go to the F1 website, it's still on the schedule, but it's a toss-up. We don't know if we're even going to cancel that race. If we do cancel it, they will be relocating that race to Istanbul, Turkey.
Okay,
So
thank you. That was my
is
next question. So they do have a contingency
I
plan for
want to see
in
a
Istanbul.
I want to see a
Fantastic.
Formula One race Grand Prix in through the town of Constantinople or Istanbul.
Constantinople.
Istanbul is
or
now
Constantinople.
Yeah.
Istanbul. There's a famous song.
Yeah, that wouldn't it be cool to see a Formula One race in Istanbul? Go through the streets, you know,
Run over the chickens.
I don't think it's really
Well,
made for that.
No, that's why it'd be great.
Well, that's what we got Monaco for. Singapore. So this
Monaco,
is
now
just
Monaco
races
is
out on the
cool.
street.
I like the Grand Prix stuff more than the racing around the track. I just think it looks more interesting to have these cars.
Well, you got to get through a chicane. I mean, try doing that in a stock car.
Get through what?
A chicane.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you never heard the term chicane?
No.
Chicane is where you have to do a 180 with the car. You've got to go around an obstacle on the track. The track's laid out. You got to do a 180, and you're usually coming off of some pretty high speed when you have to do it. Is that a good definition for it, Abe?
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
More or less.
I mean, more or less. Yeah, just
Maybe
my
that
understanding.
comes.
I'm not, this is textbook
Yeah,
writing. It's just my
that
understanding.
comes
I
from the
watched enough to
same
know.
derivation as chicanery.
It wouldn't surprise me, actually.
It
Sure.
kind of makes sense. Trickery.
Uh-huh.
It's like a trick.
That's the joke.
It's a difficult. It's definitely challenging on your when you're racing because it is a serpentine curve and it gets tight and especially when you get those high speeds, you have a tendency you can hit the wall. And there have been many crashes where they've hit the wall or they've bumped into cars, and I mean it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot. Now the other thing that's very interesting coming out of Formula One, just so you guys know, is that next year the United States is planning on adding another circuit to the schedule, and that will be in Miami, Florida. So we will have two Formula One races next year, one in Texas and one in Miami, Florida. And so you might be able to go see that. I'm not sure if that one's going to be
maybe Trump will be waving the checkered flag in the Miami race.
So we got that going on.
Yeah.
So
You'll never hear about it, though.
On the F1 will be the Heineken Grande Premio de Portugal. So in about 2 weeks from now, on May 2nd, we're going to have that race. That's the F1 in Portugal. And that's the race time in Portugal is 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. But Chad Dog time starts at 7 a.m. And just to not take away from NASCAR, just so you know, Denny Hamlin, he did lead quite a few races in our last race. He led about, I would say, over 276 laps. He led, of course, he didn't win, but it was a good neck and neck with his teammate, Martin Truex Jr. in about the last 20 laps or so, the last race. And, but good, Joe Gibbs, you could say Joe Gibbs Racing is on fire since they've taken, in the last race, they had a car in first place, third place, 8th place, and 10th place. So we're talking about 4 cars of Joe Gibbs Racing that was in the top 10.
Yep. Yeah, Sons do very well.
Well, nice to see Joe Gibbs do so well after football.
Does better than this thing ever did in football. He only won 3 Super Bowls. So.
Yeah, so we got about 7 minutes left.
I've got some more news here. So, so speaking of rookies and racing, are you following the Jimmy Johnson story? So I got wind of that this week, eh?
No, what's that?
Expand on it, please.
So Jimmy Johnson, the 45-year-old rookie, is making his IndyCar debut.
I thought you were
this weekend.
talking about Jimmy Johnson, the announcer.
No, I got something else. I got something about Joe Buck's going to make you sick, but Jimmy Johnson is making his IndyCar debut at the Barber Motorsports Park in Alabama today in an IndyCar event.
Yes, and I think one of the things that was interesting about that race is that it's actually going to be during the same time as today's race, so they're going to be kind of competing
Joe Beck.
for the audience at the same time. Because that IndyCar race is today, and I believe it's at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not great. So Jimmy Johnson's, this could be exciting, and it's always, I love IndyCar racing. So, but we just breaking news. We just learned Chab Dog is
one of my favorite shows
himself.
is being hosted by one of my least favorite announcers. I'm so excited.
Really?
Because we watch Jeopardy all the time, me and my wife, and we've been watching Aaron Rodgers the last 2
So
or
as if
3
Aaron
weeks.
Rodgers isn't bad enough.
I mean, what do you think of it?
What do you think, Aaron? Okay.
Okay, what you want me to tell you what I think?
Well, you know what?
I'll tell you what I think.
Well,
okay.
Let's all three of us get a shot of this. You go first.
I think Aaron Rodgers is, putting my freaking feet to sleep. I'm sorry, but it's just not exciting me. I mean, he's a nice guy, and he's all dressed up and pretty looking, whatever. But he's very kind of. I find him too understated, too low energy, and spinal. I just don't think it's working for me.
Yeah, he's too vanilla. He's just way too vanilla. If it wasn't Aaron Rodgers, I would be asleep.
I feel like he's kind of micromanaging himself a little bit. He
talks a little too much, and what he says isn't really.
I'm feeling the real Aaron Rodgers here. But my wife seems to like him. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be the permanent host.
Abe, have you seen Rodgers on Jeopardy?
I have seen him on Jeopardy. It is. That's like a white boy trying to be more the weirdest thing in the world to be watching Aaron Rodgers host Jeopardy. I mean, that is just. It's like having.
I have a hard time thinking of this guy.
Jacob DeGrom hosting The Price is Right. It's a weird. It's really weird. I'm a Packers fan, so of course I like Aaron Rodgers. I like that he's expanding himself, but I don't know if that's, if Jeopardy is the right move for him. I think, he would be better as a NFL
a broadcaster.
Announcer or
like Tony Romo type.
Doing that kind of a, I think he would do better there.
Good for you.
I mean, maybe, whatever. I think this is an experiment for him, and he had the opportunity to do it.
Okay, but guys, this isn't the worst part.
Yeah.
The worst part is that, he's not going to be on forever because they have another guest host coming on.
Right.
And it's going to be Joe Buck.
I know. I'm cringing, man. I'm just cringing because I don't like Joe Buck.
Joe Buck. Are you kidding me? Joe fucking Buck.
Master of the obvious.
Fuck you, asshole.
Joe Buck. How can they put Joe Buck on that show?
It's not enough that I have to see Joe Buck all the time with the football.
But can you imagine him on Jeopardy?
Fox does. Now he's on Jeopardy.
I mean, he's the biggest bullshitter already.
And does a guy that makes that much money need to have another gig like this? I mean, screw that. I don't want to see him on there.
I'll bet your telephone smells like rotten 7-Up.
It's gross. This
is putting me in a bad mood. This is really putting me in a bad mood. I need something good. Can we play a good clip? How about My Three Sons? I want to hear that.
We were just listening to it in the background for the last 5 minutes.
Do you know what My Three Sons is?
Abe's not going to know what My Three Sons is.
Fred McMurray. He was the father of 3 sons.
He was, eh?
Maybe you should play the Big Heat thing.
Big Heat?
That put me in a good mood watching Gloria Graham drink.
Yeah.
Or Ava Gardner. Gilda.
The Big Heat, 1963.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. This is good.
I need one of these before I watch Joe Buck do Jeopardy.
Yeah.
He'll have to slip in a corporate sponsorship as part of each question.
That's Gordon's gin.
Is it?
Gordon's gin there, yeah.
What's she making, martinis?
Yeah. Yeah, she's holding a martini glass.
Yeah.
Got a pitcher full of booze. Holy crap.
Larry's with me.
Lee Marvin.
You weren't expecting somebody else, were you?
He looks so young.
You'll do. It's better than drinking alone.
God. What a figure. All right.
Hi, Larry.
Hi, Debbie.
What have you been doing all day?
He was really young like before.
Shopping.
She did gain some serious weight
really
over the
young.
next
6 days a week she shops. On the
5
7th
years,
she
I think,
rests.
even. But
All tired out.
On her, it looks
great
good.
there.
Thanks, friend. Go pour yourself a drink.
I see a thruple brewing here.
Lee Marvin moving in.
Kiss her neck.
That's nice perfume.
Something new.
Caressing
that
her
attracts
arms.
mosquitoes and repels men.
Oh, yeah.
That's witty.
Doesn't work that way with
Very
me.
witty.
It's not supposed
Now
to.
she's looking romantic, and they lock lips. Oh,
And then she pulls
That's
away.
His Highness. I forgot to tell you he was stopping off.
She forgot.
uh-oh. His Highness. Uh-oh.
Guess Lee Marvin's boss. I don't know. I don't know. Remember who
Do you
this
ever
guy
go to the circus, Larry?
is.
You should.
Do you know who that other
Take
actor is?
Vince. There's a man with a big hat that holds up the hoop, cracks the whip, and the animals jump through. Hup, Vince,
I want to say
Larry,
he's
hup,
Brandon
Vince,
DeWild,
hup,
but I'm
Larry,
not sure.
hup, Vince, hup, Larry,
The guy that was in,
Vince.
the kid was in Shane.
Debbie?
Just
Chef.
impersonation.
Shane?
How's your daughter, Mr. Lagina?
She was going out formal tonight.
Oh.
Can you imagine that?
This is
She
the
wanted
big
me to
guy.
wait
I
and
guess.
put the final okay on a dress. I told her what I
Oh,
thought
Lee
didn't matter.
Marvin's just a kid there. My goodness.
Just
Yeah, really.
impress that
He looks
football
like
player.
he's. What do you think? He's like
Father means more than
28.
football players. They come and go, but dance
Sure.
around for keeps. Hmm?
I hope Angela feels that way about me.
He doesn't even look
bet she
30 to
does.
me.
Check the kitchen, will you, baby?
He still has that piercing voice, you know.
Now it's Debbie. Hup, Debbie. Hup,
Yeah, it
Debbie.
was a little higher
Debbie,
pitched
hup,
than he used
Debbie.
it later. That was a great scene.
Yeah.
The new
Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin.
So, Abe, been another interesting show. We enjoyed the racing insights and additional information.
Speed Racer by Abe.
So,
Shop Dog Racing.
Thank you.
let me see what I can do. Maybe I can do a post about racing. It's about time.
Well, let's see if some of the fans can chime in and tell me who's going to take their checkered flag today in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
That's really.
I go with the
that's,
Denny. I go with Denny. Let's see Denny win.
Can't not go
win
with
one
Denny now,
for
especially
FedEx.
after what's happened. What a shame.
Yeah, and we've kept this show pretty non-political this time, but it's just the way it went. So I want to focus on things that are positive, enjoyable, and interesting. And not that this stuff going on isn't interesting, but we could spend 3 hours talking about it and probably get nowhere. So anyway,
it's just like sports. We enjoy sports to get away from it. And so
yeah,
we do too.
yeah.
Government, Pentagon,
So I hope everybody has a great week, and we're going to end with what are we going to end with?
I'll play Miranda again.
Do you even know the Miranda rights?
You could play
First,
the
I have to read you the Miranda
Hank
rights.
Williams song.
You have the right to remain.
Abe Miranda.
I've never
Let's play the Hank Williams song and go out on a high note.
Give me attitude, sir.
Yeah, don't give me attitude, sir.
So this is one of Hank Williams' best songs called "Hey
Yes.
Good Lookin'." I think this was like the theme from Carl's Jr. for a while, wasn't it?
It's been used in advertising.
Used in
off and
advertising
on
forever?
over decades, exactly. It's just a catchy tune.
Yeah.
Okay, is it final thoughts time?
Final thoughts.
Final
Anything
thoughts,
you want to say, Abe?
Abe, go first.
Before we sign off.
You know what, you guys, everybody have a wonderful rest of the week, and I look forward to giving you guys another racing update next weekend, and we'll give you some of these results for the Toyota Owners 400. And other than that, everybody have a safe and pleasant week.
Okay, that's a great thought. Safe and pleasant. We are entering into the week of 420. I hope everybody has a good 420 day, and something weird, unusual, but good happens. I'm going to try to eat some blueberry pancakes because it's Tuesday. And that's Pancake Day. Have a great week. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Frank. Not Abe. I don't know why. I've got Frank on my brain. Because Abe and Frank are kind of linked in my mind, but
so they should be.
But it's really great that we have Abe, and I kind of feel like I stay in touch with Frank a little bit because we've got Abe.
Exactly.
So thank you, Abe, and thanks to all the Idas out there in the world, including Ida Lupino and Ida Cohen, And I've had a great time this week. Thank you, Eric, for hosting the show again. Have a great week, everybody.
We'll end with some Hank Williams.
June, honey, I got a song I wrote just especially for you. I want to sing it. Just for you.
What is it?
It's called Hey Good Looking.
Oh.
Say, hey, good looking. What you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Say, hey, sweet baby. Don't you think, baby, we could find us a brand new recipe? I got a hot rod Ford and a $2 bill, and I know a spot right over the hill. There's soda pop and the dancing's free. So if you want to have fun, come along with me. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Time for me. Ain't no more looking. I know I've been cooking. So how's about keeping steady company? I'm gonna jump my date book over the fence and buy me one for 5 or 10 cents. I'll keep it till it's covered with age, 'cause I'm writing your name down on every page. Say, hey, good looking. Cooking. How's about cooking something up with me?
Bigger Brothers present General Custer at Little Bullhorn. In the days following the Civil War, lawlessness reigned in the panhandle country of Texas. However, that has nothing to do with our story. Our story deals with the heroic deeds of one of those hardy pioneers who carved an oasis out of the wild and untamed West. Among those illustrious names are found Daniel Boone, Wyatt Earp, Davy Crockett, Sam Houston, Mel Dallas, Luigi San Antonio, and General George Armstrong Custer.
I was reading a little history the other day, American history, and I was reading about famous American generals and what they said not only in victory, but in defeat. And I came across one outstanding name, that of General George Armstrong Custer. There was a lot said about him, but not really what he said in those last few horrible moments when he went down at the Little Bighorn for the last time. But I should imagine General Custer, knowing the situation, some 3,000 Sioux on there on the far ridge, and he with only 212 men, might have said something like this.
It isn't going to be easy. It isn't going to be easy. I see 2 of our scouts are riding up now. You have anything unusual to report, Lieutenant? These arrows speak for themselves. Get that man a canteen of booze.
General, what's happening to us? There are 15 women folk back in the wagon train, and they're sick. They're full of fungi, and berry, and the water line is low. Merciful heavens, what get that
woman away from me. Sergeant Elmo Dean, saddle up a steed. We're going up there to see the Sioux. Dun, 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 dun.
Sitting Bull, tomorrow in big sunrise, all Sioux Nation, wipe out Custer at Little Bighorn. Wasawachie. You speak, Crazy Horse. You're not only Crazy Horse, you crazy horse. You Custer.
That's right, I kid you not. General George Armstrong Custer. They call me Yellow Hair. And let me tell you something, and all them Sioux. We ain't about to be outnumbered. We've got better than 3,000 of our own men down there in the pass. Right, Sergeant Elmo Dean? No. What did I just get through telling you? I said we have better than 3,000 of our own men down there in the pass. Right, Sergeant Elmo Dean? No. Private Elmo Dean and I are riding back.
General, what did they say? Will there be trouble with those savages? Will they want get that
Woman away from me.
Well, you know something, Bart? I've been with the General for a long time. I got a feeling this might be his last stand.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Don't look too good up over that far ridge, does it?
No, it don't. It sure don't. Them ain't birds. Them's Injuns.
Well, that's a loud Indian. Get them cut the horses and get the women on down to the water line. Nice looking boy.
General, what are they doing to us? They're wiping us out.
Get that woman away from me.
I see you're dying, General. You have anything famous to say before you die?
Yes, I do. Just get that woman away from me.